Best Mesh Routers is offered in a wide variety, each with unique features, benefits, and prices. I did a massive amount of research, reviewed a ton of reviews, and put up a list of the best mesh routers from trustworthy brands to assist you in making a decision. After extensive investigation, I discovered these goods to benefit people like you. If you're curious to learn more about the price and other information, be sure to read my description. Without further ado, let's watch the video. Number 5. TP-Link Deco W7200. For a mesh router upgrade that really feels like an upgrade, you'll want to look for these things: Wi-Fi 6 support, and a tri-band design with the usual 2.4 and 5 GHz bands, plus a second 5 GHz band that the system can use as a dedicated backhaul connection for wireless transmissions between the main router and the satellites. The problem is that tri-band Wi-Fi 6 mesh routers like that are typically pretty expensive. Not too long ago, I was commending Asus and Deco for bringing the cost of a two-piece system like that down to around $400 or so. Now, TP-Link is doing even better and selling the Deco W7200 mesh router, a tri-band Wi-Fi 6 system that only costs $233 for a two-pack. That might be the best mesh router value I've ever seen. And the even better part is that it performs like a champ, with fast, stable speeds, decent range, and a setup process that's about as easy as it gets, with satellite extenders that automatically join the mesh as soon as you plug them in. In fact, the only mesh system that beat the Deco W7200 outright in my at-home speed tests, the Netgear Orbi AX6000, costs more than 3 times as much at $700 for a two-pack. All of that makes the Deco W7200 an outstanding value, and the first mesh router I'd point people to if they asked for a recommendation. Just know that it's been in and out of stock this year on Walmart's website, so it might not be immediately available in your area. If it isn't, you could also consider stepping up to the TP-Link Deco XE75, a similar system that adds Wi-Fi 6E support at $300 for a two-pack. There's also the TP-Link Deco X90, a Wi-Fi 6 mesh system that outperformed the Number 4. Amazon Eero 6 Mesh. Eero was an early pioneer of the mesh networking approach, and in 2019, it got scooped up by Amazon. Then, in 2020, we got 2 new versions of the Eero mesh router, the Eero 6 and Eero Pro 6, both of which add in support for, you guessed it, Wi-Fi 6. I like the Eero Pro 6 as an upgrade pick, but the standard Eero 6 wasn't quite strong enough for me to recommend it. Flash forward to 2022, and the release of the Eero 6 Plus. With a list price of $299 for a 3-pack, it offers the same strong pitch as the Eero 6, a relatively affordable and easy-to-use 3-piece Wi-Fi 6 mesh setup, complete with a built-in Zigbee radio for connecting things like lights and locks with your network. Best of all, with a faster AX3000 design, up from AX1800 with the Eero 6, and support for full-width, 160 MHz channels, up from 80 MHz, the performance is significantly improved. In my at-home tests, the Eero 6 Plus returned average download speeds that were in the top 10 of the 30 or so mesh routers I've reviewed here, and none of the systems that outperformed it offer as good a value. Its upload speeds were strong as well, and it works great with previous gen Wi-Fi 5 client devices too. That's important because gadgets like those still comprise the majority of Wi-Fi devices in our homes. With 3 meshed. Number 3. Nest Wi-Fi. Several years ago, Google Wi-Fi became a breakout hit, thanks to its easy setup and its ability to spread a fast, reliable Wi-Fi connection throughout your home for all of your connected devices. Now, there's the Nest Wi-Fi, a second-gen follow-up that adds in faster internet speeds and a better-looking design, plus Google Assistant smart speakers built into each satellite extender. The price is a little lower this time around, $269 for the two-piece setup above, with roughly the same area of Wi-Fi coverage as a three-piece $300 Google Wi-Fi setup from years back. That's less of a good deal now than it was when the system first launched, but there's still plenty of reason to consider the Nest Wi-Fi if you catch it on sale. On average, the Nest Wi-Fi notched the fastest top speeds that I saw in my tests from any Wi-Fi 5 mesh router, and faster speeds than some of the Wi-Fi 6 systems I've tested, too. Plus, the two-piece setup offered enough signal strength to provide sufficient coverage at the 5,800 square foot CNET smart home. It also aced our mesh tests, never once dropping my connection as I moved about my home running speed tests, and I never caught it routing my connection through the extender when connecting directly to the router was faster, either. The lack of Wi-Fi 6 support might seem like a missed opportunity, but the Nest Wi-Fi does include support for modern features like WPA3 security, device grouping, and prioritization, and 4x4 MIMO connections that offer faster aggregate speeds for devices like the MacBook Pro that can use multiple Wi-Fi antennas at once. It's also fully backward compatible with previous gen Google Wi-Fi setups, which is a smart touch. All of it is easy to set up, Number 2. Netgear Orbi Wi-Fi 6E. At a retail price of $699 for a 2-pack, the AX6000 version of the Netgear Orbi is too expensive to recommend outright, but if you just want one of the fastest mesh routers money can buy, look no further. With full support for Wi-Fi 6, and a second 5G HZ band that serves as a dedicated backhaul connection for the router and its satellites, the power system was downright impressive in our tests, with top speeds of nearly 900 megabits per second at close range in our lab. That's one of the fastest numbers we've ever seen from a mesh router in that test, and it only fell to 666 megabits per second at a distance of 75 feet, which is still faster than we saw from the Nest Wi-Fi up close, just 5 feet away. Things got even more impressive when we took the Orbi AX6000 home to test its performance in a real-world setting. With an incoming internet connection of 300 megabits per second serving as a speed limit, the system returned average speeds throughout the whole home of 289 megabits per second to Wi-Fi 5 devices and 367 megabits per second to Wi-Fi 6 devices, including speeds at the farthest point from the router that was 95% as fast as when connecting up close. That's an outstanding result, and it's held up as I've continued my control mesh router speed tests. In the 2 years that have passed since I first tested the Orbi AX6000 at my home, no other system I've tested has been able to take its top spot on the leaderboard, not even the newer Orbi AXE11000 system that adds in support for Wi-Fi 6E. Yes, really. Again, the problem is the price. $699 is simply too expensive for most folks, especially given that you'll need a connection of at least 500 megabits per second in order to notice much of a difference between this system and others we like that cost less than half as much. There's also the less expensive AX4200 version of the Orbi. Number 1. Asus ZenWiFi AX-XT8. It isn't quite as fast as the AX6000 version of the Netgear Orbi listed above, but the Editor's Choice Award-winning Asus ZenWiFi AX, model number XT8, came awfully close, and at $400 or less for a two-piece system, it's a lot easier to afford. In fact, the ZenWiFi AX offers the same multi-gig WAN ports as the Orbi AX6000, which is a great piece of future-proofing that you don't always get in this price range. The tri-band build means that it also boasts the same dedicated backhaul band to help keep the system transmissions separate from your network traffic, and it offers the same ease of setup, the same steady mesh performance, and the same strong speeds at the range too. All of that makes it a future-ready upgrade pick at a fair price. It even comes in your choice of white, or black dot. I also appreciated the depth of control in the Asus app, which lets you manage your network and customize that backhaul as you see fit. If $400 is a bit too much for your budget, know that there's a smaller version of this system called the Asus ZenWiFi X Mini. It isn't as high-powered, and it isn't a tri-band system like its big brother, but it comes with 3 devices that all support Wi-Fi 6 for $250, which makes it pretty. Thank you for watching this video. If you found this video helpful, please hit the subscribe button, press the bell icon, and comment below. Check out the description to find the product.